The reason why I created this channel is to buy myself a new GPU if in case I get lucky through YouTube, although my faith in it is significantly low. Another reason why I did this is to make very simple tutorials on how to power up aircraft from cold to dark. I've been flying since I was a kid, and back then I just wanted to fly, but powering up the aircraft was quite a task as many complex terms were involved. So to keep things simple, I will teach you how to power up an aircraft very quickly. However, this is not the right and professional way to do it. If you want, you could just search for other YouTube. They've mentioned it very clearly. So this is just for people out there who are just beginners and don't want to spend a lot of time learning complex procedures. So here we are in the FlyByWire A32NX. I put up the link in the description. It's very easy to install. They are a community-driven open source project. Everything that they do is for free, and they're working on the A380 at the moment. And I'm not kidding when I say I check up for updates in the Discord server every day in the morning. So here we are in the A320 at Stuttgart International Airport. Apologies for the low quality. I run on 1660 Ti. So I will put down timestamps where you can skip forward if you already know the basic initial setups. So to give a very short introduction on how to start an aircraft, you must know the basic electrical systems of the aircraft. To begin with, the battery, the GPU, APU, and the engines. The first thing you always do is switch on the batteries. So those are just for backup. So when you're stationary in the ground, you've got no power. So you request for the ground power unit, or the GPU, which is the small box you see outside attached to the aircraft. With the GPU, you have the power to do the initial setups on your MCDUs and other procedures. Now to start the engines, you've got two options. You can do it either with the GPU or the APU. APU is the auxiliary power unit, which is a small engine which is placed at the back of the aircraft. You can see the anus of the APU, which is the APU exhaust, which you can see over here. You see over here. All right. So you can start the engines either with the GPU or the APU. Starting with the GPU means you have to remain stationary. So that's why we use the APU. So as a standard procedure, you start the battery, then you use the GPU, which is already provided to you as you enter the aircraft. After that, you switch on the APU, and after that's powered up, you can disconnect the GPU. The power automatically switches from the GPU to APU, whereas in the Boeing 737, you have to manually switch it. After the APU is powered up, you can disconnect the GPU, and then you're free to push and start the engines. Again, I'm reminding you, this is not the right and correct, accurate way. It's just to get the aircraft running. So now you've known the basic introduction, let's just pop into the aircraft. So this is the cockpit of the A320. So this is the overhead panel. This is the main panel at the bottom. Alright, so I'll just familiarize yourself. You can always skip this if you already know this. So you always go from top to bottom, from left to right. So the ADIS is the Data Inertial Reference System, so it's basically like the GPS. That's to calibrate yourself, the aircraft, to the satellite. Then you go down here, you've got the flight control, evacuation procedures, emergency electrical power, GPWs. I mean, it's not really important at the moment if you just want to get the flight running. Over here, if you've got the fires, if there's any fire, it will pop up, and that's when you know it's starting to get panicked. I mean, although you're not supposed to panic. And then you go to the hydraulic systems. You've got the fuel systems, although I'll talk about in a minute. You've got the electrical system. You can see the battery 1, battery 2, and also you could see the external power. And it's written avail, which means available. Let me tell you, it's available. It doesn't mean it's switched on, but the external power is available to you at the moment. You've got air conditioning systems, ACs, but they want to use the fancy terms. They go by packs, pack 1 and pack 2. The wings and the anti-ice for the wing, engine 1, engine 2, the probe and the heat, the cabin pressure, the lighting systems, and over here you can see the APU, the master switch and the start switch. Alright, so now you know what to do. You go battery 2, battery 1, external power. So you know the aircraft's being powered up. You can hear by the noise, by the lights, right? And then after you've done that, you could go to the ADIS. You could switch all these to nav. That's about it. You could come down. You could increase the lights. for the ecam panels. You can switch on these lights as well. This is they, advised keeping it to full. And the flip lights for the main panel. The integrated lights for the main panel. And the overhead lights. You could, emergency exit light, keep it armed, switch on, no smoking, seatbelts on. It's not really necessary if you just want to fly. Alright, so that's done. And it is at this point you could go to the FMC and you can do your flight planning. Not flight planning, as in you could import the waypoints and everything in the init page, I mean, if you want to do, I'm not going to go there at the moment, but if you want to learn more about it, just type in the comment section. I can make another video on it, a very short video. Alright, so at this point, you could go here. I'm not going to explain at the moment. I'm just going to rush it. I mean, I'm going to focus on starting of the aircraft. So this is the transponder, this is the radio panel, this is the speed brake flaps and stuff. Right, and then you could go ahead and start the APU. Master switch on. You can see in this lower ecam panel the APU page is popped up. Or if you can't get it, you could always go here. You can see over here APU. I mean, if it's something else, you could go to the APU. Right, and then you could start the APU. And then when you go down, you can see the flaps open and it's powering up. The EGT, the temperature rises. You hear the noise as well. You see, the exhaust is being powered up from the fumes. I mean, you can see from the fumes that it's being powered up. Look at me for no reason. Alright, so when it reaches 100, your AP is available for you. Also, it says that IR in online for 7 minutes. So that means even in real life, it takes about 7 minutes for the aircraft, for the GPS systems to align itself with the satellites. Alright, so AP is now available to you. Alright, so now you don't need the external power. It's off. External power is not needed. See, the aircraft is now running on the APU. Alright, so now you're actually ready to push and start. But wait, you have to, wait for the IR to align. And at the moment, you could say this. It means like when you see off, it means that like the fuel is not being pumped into the engine at the moment. So when you're going to start up the engines, you can switch it on. So you can see it takes another 6 minutes. I'm just gonna pause it here and continue where it's completely aligned. So 1 more minute remaining for the ADS to align, and then I'll show you how to push back. I mean, normally we don't have a really, the game doesn't really give a very nice pushback system, although you can use the GSX, but I was paid. Even I haven't bought it because I don't have money for that. But if you want, you can buy for it, but I wouldn't advise you to buy the GSX at the moment because there's a lot left to learn apart from learning how to handle the GSX. So you've got the pushback service given by the FlyByWire. Alright, then see, now you can see the ADAS are all aligned. I haven't configured the FMS, that's why you're not seeing anything on the map. Alright, and then pushback system on, confirm parking brake. So it was on and now it's off. And you can call for the tug. Alright, and then you can go for it. I think we'll have to wait. Come on. No. Ah, so you could go backward. Alright. So while this is going back, it's very simple. So go up. so all you have to do is switch on the APU bleed on. Then, so remember, for the APU, for the A320, it's not very powerful. It can't start both the engines at the same time. Also, it can't start the engine with the AC, with the packs on. So to provide maximum power to the engines to start it up, you're going to switch off the AC as well. Pack 1, pack 2 off. Alright, so that's there, and that's pretty much it. You go down, engine mode selector, to ignition start, you start up engine number 2. And you can monitor that over here. I'm manually doing the pushback turn, so it's not really helpful at the moment. I'm just going to stop the pushback over here because I want to look inside the cockpit as well. Stop that, and parking brake on. So once the engine has started up successfully, it will show the engine is available, like you can see here. So now we go ahead for the engine number 1. And the sound that you hear right now is the BTU. It's transferring the hydraulics from one system to another. You can see that over here when you go to the hydraulic field. It's powering up now. So whilst the engine's on, you can switch on the lights, strobe on, beacon on, wing on, no, lights on. And when you're going to taxi, you're going to start the taxi. Right. That's pretty much it. Then after the engine has started, we'll have to wait for it to become available.
Once again, we'd like to welcome you on board. Your safety is our top priority.
So you've got engine 1 is available right now, so you can switch the engine mode selected to normal. APU bleed off, packs on. APU must switch is now off. So now you've successfully got up the aircraft with engines. And then, you know, a bit to take off is basic. Flaps 1, it's the basic standard procedures, spoilers is on. Auto brake maximum, and you can go here, yeah, the TCAS on TARA island, and this is a radio panel, yeah. So yeah, that's pretty much it. 3-2, track 3-1, external power, you go up here, you switch on the ADAS, now 1, now 2, now 3, and then say you do all the blah blah blah, and then you go ahead and start the APU. APU is available. You could go up to the fuel switches. APU bleed on, backs off, go down, engine mode selector, ignition, engine 2. Engine 1. Engine 1 is available, go down, normal, go up, you can disconnect the external power, APU bleed, backs off, APU switches off. And there you have the aircraft all powered up I mean, I've not completely gone with the FMC, and I can go through it if you want me to. So yeah, there you go. You now learned how to start the aircraft from cold and dark. I won't be asking you to like and subscribe, as those who wish to like it will like it. So thank you for watching. If there's anything you need to learn in the shortest way, like the way I just described, just type in the comment box and I'll do a video about it. So until next time.